Chosen one, there was a time when people looked at you and saw nothing special. They overlooked your effort, ignored your presence, and walked away without realizing what was standing right in front of them. They thought your silence meant weakness, and your patience meant you had nothing to offer. But what they didn't understand was that something powerful was quietly growing in your life. While they were busy overlooking you, you were changing, learning, and becoming stronger than they ever expected. And very soon, the same people who once ignored you will begin to see the truth. Not because you explained it to them, but because your life will make it impossible for them to ignore what they lost. 1. When your worth was hidden from the wrong eyes. There are times in life when a person's true value is not recognized by the people around them. You may have shared your ideas, shown your effort, or tried to contribute in meaningful ways. Yet the response you received felt distant or indifferent. Some people may have dismissed your presence or treated your potential as if it were ordinary. Experiences like this can create confusion because you know you have something valuable to offer, yet others seem unable to see it. The truth is that recognition often depends on perspective. Not everyone has the awareness or understanding needed to recognize someone's potential while it is still developing. People tend to notice value only when it becomes obvious or when it brings immediate benefit to them. If your growth is still unfolding, those who look only at the surface may miss what is taking shape beneath it. Another reason your worth can remain hidden is because people often judge based on their own expectations. If someone has a limited idea of what success or ability looks like, they may overlook qualities that do not match their assumptions. Your strengths might appear in ways that are different from what they are used to seeing. Instead of recognizing the uniqueness of your path, they may simply fail to understand it. Sometimes the environment you are in also affects how your value is perceived. Certain places and groups do not encourage growth or curiosity. In those spaces, people may focus on routine and familiarity rather than noticing new ideas or fresh perspectives. When someone with a different vision appears, their contribution may be ignored because it challenges what others have become comfortable with. Yet being unseen by the wrong eyes does not diminish your worth. In many cases, it simply means that the people around you are not the ones meant to recognize your potential. Value does not disappear just because it goes unnoticed for a period of time. Growth continues quietly, even when others fail to acknowledge it. Periods of being overlooked can also become an opportunity for development. Without constant attention or expectation from others, you are free to explore your abilities and refine your direction. You learn to trust your own progress instead of depending on approval from those who may not fully understand your journey. Your growth begins to reveal itself through your actions, decisions, and achievements. The qualities that were once hidden become visible as your confidence and clarity increase. When this happens, people who once overlooked you may begin to notice the changes. What they are seeing is not something that appeared suddenly, but the result of a long process that was taking place quietly. Your worth was never absent. It was simply waiting to be recognized by the right eyes at the right time. To the season when you were meant to be overlooked. There are periods in life when a person feels unseen, as if their presence and effort pass quietly without much recognition. You may have worked hard, shown dedication, or carried ideas that meant something to you, yet it seemed like very few people noticed. At times this can feel discouraging, especially when it appears that others receive attention more easily while your own progress remains in the background. Moments like this can create the impression that your efforts are being ignored or that your value is somehow less important. Yet certain seasons of life are meant to unfold quietly. Being overlooked is not always a sign of failure or lack of worth. In many cases, it simply means that your growth is still taking place in a space where there are fewer distractions. When fewer people are watching or expecting something from you, there is more freedom to explore your direction, develop your skills, and strengthen your mindset without unnecessary pressure. This quieter period can also protect your progress. Attention from others often brings opinions, comparisons, and criticism that can influence the way a person thinks about their own path. When you are overlooked, You are able to focus on learning and improving without constantly responding to outside judgment. The absence of attention can become a space where creativity and clarity grow naturally. Another part of this season is the development of patience. Growth rarely happens instantly, and meaningful progress usually takes time. When recognition is delayed, you learn how to continue moving forward without depending on approval. This builds resilience and self-confidence because your motivation begins to come from within rather than from the reactions of others. During this time, your understanding of yourself also becomes deeper. You start to recognize what truly matters to you instead of chasing attention or validation. Your goals become clearer and your direction becomes more focused. The quiet environment allows you to listen to your own thoughts and make decisions that reflect your true priorities. The progress that was developing in silence begins to appear through your actions and results. What once seemed unnoticed gradually becomes visible as your confidence and abilities grow stronger. People may start to recognize qualities that they previously overlooked, and the same path that once seemed invisible begins to attract attention. The season when you were overlooked was not meaningless. It provided the space needed for growth, reflection, and preparation. While others were focused elsewhere, you were building the foundation for something stronger. This quiet period helped shape the person you are becoming, and the strength developed during that time will guide you as new opportunities begin to appear. 3. The quiet transformation no one noticed. Some of the most meaningful changes in life happen in silence. They do not come with loud announcements or sudden attention. Instead, they develop slowly, almost invisibly, while everyday life continues around you. During this time, people may see the same person they have always known, but inside, something important is changing. Your thoughts are evolving, your awareness is expanding, and your understanding of yourself and the world is becoming deeper. Quiet transformation often begins after periods of challenge or reflection. Difficult experiences have a way of encouraging growth that is not always visible from the outside. You start to rethink certain habits, question old patterns, and search for better ways to move forward. These moments of reflection gradually shape your mindset and help you develop a stronger sense of direction. During this process, you may begin to notice that your reactions to situations are changing. Things that once frustrated you may no longer have the same effect. Instead of reacting quickly or emotionally, you respond with patience and thoughtfulness. This shift shows that your inner stability is growing. It allows you to face challenges with greater clarity rather than becoming overwhelmed by them. Another part of quiet transformation is the way your priorities begin to shift. Activities, conversations, or environments that once felt important may lose their appeal. At the same time, you may feel more drawn to experiences that support learning, creativity, or personal development. This natural change in focus helps guide your energy toward areas that contribute to your progress. While this growth is taking place, many people around you may not notice it immediately. They continue to see you through the lens of past experiences or earlier impressions. Because transformation happens gradually, the changes within you may remain hidden until your actions begin to reflect the new understanding you have developed. This period of quiet growth can be powerful because it allows you to evolve without constant judgment or distraction. Instead of feeling pressure to prove yourself, you are free to explore new ideas, refine your goals, and build confidence in your abilities. The transformation becomes stronger because it is built on genuine learning and experience rather than outside approval. The changes that are happening internally begin to influence the way you move through life. Your decisions become clearer, your confidence grows, and your actions start reflecting the person you have been becoming during that silent period. Others may begin to notice the difference, even if they cannot fully explain it. The quiet transformation that no one noticed was shaping a stronger and more aware version of yourself. What developed during that time prepared you for the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Even though the process was subtle, its impact can guide your journey toward new possibilities and meaningful progress. 4. The moment your presence becomes impossible to ignore, there comes a point in many people's journeys when quiet growth begins to show in visible ways. For a long time, you may have been developing your mindset, learning from experiences, and improving yourself without drawing much attention. During that period, others may have continued seeing you in the same way they always had. They might have overlooked the progress you were making or assumed that nothing had changed. Yet personal growth does not remain hidden forever. When a person continues working on themselves with patience and dedication, their transformation eventually begins to appear through their actions. The way you speak, the decisions you make, and the confidence you carry start reflecting the progress that has been happening within you. These changes may seem small at first, but they create a noticeable difference in the way you approach situations and interact with others. One sign that your presence is becoming more visible is the shift in how people respond to you. Conversations that once felt dismissive may begin to feel more respectful. People who previously overlooked your ideas may start listening more carefully. This does not happen because you suddenly changed overnight, but because the strength and clarity you developed are now showing through your behavior. Another factor that makes your presence stand out is consistency. When someone continues to grow and improve over time, the results begin to speak for themselves. Your actions become more focused, your direction becomes clearer, and your confidence becomes more natural. These qualities are difficult for others to ignore because they reflect genuine development rather than temporary effort. Your presence also becomes stronger when you are comfortable with who you are becoming. Instead of trying to fit into expectations that never felt right, you begin to express your ideas and values more openly. This authenticity naturally attracts attention because people recognize when someone is acting with sincerity and purpose. It is also important to understand that recognition from others is not the main goal of growth. The true value lies in the progress you have made within yourself. However, when that progress becomes visible through your actions, people naturally begin to notice the difference. What once seemed ordinary now carries a sense of clarity and confidence that draws attention. The moment your presence becomes impossible to ignore is not created by a single event. It is the result of consistent effort, learning, and self-development over time. The transformation that took place quietly has now reached a point where it influences the way you move through the world. Your journey continues to unfold, and the qualities you developed during the silent stages are now shaping how others see you. The same path that once seemed unnoticed has become a reflection of the growth and resilience you built along the way. 5. Why their perspective will suddenly change. People often form opinions about others based on what they see at a particular moment in time. When someone first meets you or observes you during an earlier stage of your journey, they may only notice the surface. They might judge your abilities, your confidence, or your potential based on limited information. Because of this, many people develop quick assumptions that stay in their minds for a long time. When your life begins to change and your growth becomes visible, those earlier assumptions can no longer explain what they are seeing. The way you carry yourself, the clarity in your decisions, and the confidence in your actions begin to show a different version of you. The person they thought they understood no longer matches the reality they are witnessing. This contrast naturally causes people to rethink their previous opinions. Another reason their perspective changes is because growth creates evidence that cannot easily be ignored. When someone continues developing their skills, mindset, and direction, the results eventually become clear. Achievements, new opportunities, and visible progress all signal that something meaningful has taken place. These changes encourage others to see you through a new lens because your actions now speak louder than their earlier impressions. Time also plays an important role in shifting perspectives. As time passes, people observe patterns in behavior and progress. They begin to notice that your growth is not temporary or accidental. It reflects consistent effort and a deeper level of awareness. This realization can cause people to reconsider the way they once viewed you. Another factor that influences their changing perspective is the confidence you develop through experience. Confidence that grows from real learning and challenges feels authentic. It does not rely on proving yourself or seeking approval. Instead, it shows through calm decisions, thoughtful communication, and steady focus. When others notice this level of self-assurance, it often leads them to recognize qualities they overlooked before. People may also change their perspective because your environment begins to change as well. New connections, fresh opportunities, and meaningful experiences appear as your journey progresses. When others see that you are moving in new directions and attracting different possibilities, they begin to understand that your path is evolving in ways they did not expect. It is important to remember that this shift in perspective does not define your worth. Your value existed long before others recognized it. Their changing view simply reflects the moment when your growth becomes visible enough to reshape their understanding. The perspective of others often changes suddenly because they are finally seeing the results of a process that was happening quietly for a long time. What seemed ordinary to them before has now become a clear example of progress, determination, and personal development. 6. The new confidence that changes everything. There comes a point in personal growth when confidence begins to appear in a natural and steady way. This kind of confidence is different from temporary motivation or excitement. It grows quietly through experience, learning, and the ability to overcome challenges. When someone passes through difficult situations and continues moving forward, they gradually develop a deeper trust in their own abilities. That trust becomes the foundation of a new confidence that influences every part of life. This confidence is not loud or aggressive. Instead, it is calm and balanced. It shows in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you make decisions. When confidence develops from real experiences, it brings clarity to your thinking. Instead of constantly doubting yourself, you begin to understand your strengths and accept your limitations with honesty. This understanding allows you to approach situations with a clearer mind and a stronger sense of direction. One important change that comes with this new confidence is the ability to stop seeking constant approval from others. In the past, you may have depended on recognition or encouragement to feel certain about your choices. As confidence grows, that need slowly fades. You begin trusting your own judgment and focusing on what truly aligns with your goals and values. This independence strengthens your sense of identity and allows you to move forward without being controlled by outside opinions. Another powerful effect of confidence is the way it shapes your actions. When you believe in your ability to grow and adapt, you become more willing to explore opportunities that once seemed intimidating. You start taking thoughtful risks and stepping into situations that challenge you to expand your skills and understanding. Each new experience adds another layer to your confidence because it proves that you can handle uncertainty and continue progressing. Confidence also changes the way others respond to you. People naturally notice when someone speaks and acts with calm assurance. They begin to take your ideas more seriously and listen more carefully to your perspective. This shift does not happen because you demand attention, but because your presence reflects clarity and self-belief. Authentic confidence tends to attract respect without forcing it. Another important aspect of this transformation is emotional stability. With stronger confidence, small setbacks no longer shake your sense of direction. Instead of reacting with frustration or doubt, you approach challenges with patience and a willingness to learn. This balanced response allows you to recover more quickly from difficulties and continue moving forward. The new confidence that develops through experience has the power to change many aspects of life. It influences the choices you make, the opportunities you pursue, and the relationships you build. By trusting the growth you have achieved, you create a stronger foundation for the next stage of your journey. This quiet but powerful confidence becomes the force that guides you toward meaningful progress and lasting fulfillment. 7. The realization that comes too late for some. There are moments in life when people finally begin to understand something they failed to see before. At first, they may not have paid attention to your presence or recognized the qualities you carried. Your ideas might have been overlooked. Your effort may have been ignored. and the direction you were trying to follow may not have seemed important to them because they were focused on their own perspective. They did not take the time to truly notice what was developing in your life. As time moves forward, change begins to appear in ways that cannot be hidden. Your growth becomes visible through the way you handle situations, the confidence you carry, and the progress you make toward your goals. The same people who once overlooked your potential begin to see that something has shifted. They start noticing that the person they once underestimated has developed strength, clarity, and direction that they did not expect. This realization can feel surprising to those who did not take your journey seriously before. They may begin asking questions about how you reached this point or what helped you develop such focus. What they are witnessing is not something that appeared suddenly. It is the result of many experiences, lessons, and efforts that took place quietly over time. While they were unaware of what was happening, you were building the foundation for the progress they are now seeing. This new understanding arrives too late. By the time they recognize your value, the opportunity to support your journey or walk alongside you may have already passed. Life moves forward, and growth often leads people in different directions. The connections that once seemed possible may no longer fit the path you are now following. This situation does not mean that anyone is being punished or excluded. It simply reflects how timing can influence relationships and understanding. When people fail to recognize someone's potential during an earlier stage, they may miss the chance to be part of that person's development. The realization comes only after the transformation has already taken place. Your journey continues regardless of when others begin to understand it. The progress you made did not depend on their recognition, and it does not require their approval to continue. What matters most is that you stayed committed to growth, even when it was not being noticed. The realization that comes too late for some people is a reminder that personal growth often happens quietly. Those who pay attention early may witness the journey from the beginning. Others may only see the results once the transformation has already unfolded. Either way, the path you followed remains a reflection of the strength, patience, and determination that shaped the person you have become. Chosen one. There are times when people fail to recognize the value standing right in front of them. Not because the value was missing, but because they were not paying attention or were not ready to see it. Throughout your journey, there may have been moments when your effort, ideas, or presence seemed unnoticed. Yet those quiet seasons were shaping your growth in ways that could not remain hidden forever. The progress you made did not depend on recognition from others. It developed through your patience, your willingness to keep learning, and your determination to move forward even when the path felt uncertain. These experiences strengthened your mindset and helped you understand your direction more clearly. As time continues, the same people who once overlooked your potential may begin to see the changes that have taken place. They may realize that the qualities they once ignored were part of a much deeper process of growth. This realization simply reflects how your journey has evolved. What matters most now is continuing to move forward with clarity and confidence. Your focus should remain on the path that supports your growth and the opportunities that align with your purpose. Every step you take builds on the lessons you have already learned. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments and connect with others who may be experiencing a similar journey. Sometimes a simple message can help someone else recognize their own potential and continue moving forward. Stay focused, stay patient, and keep growing, because the path ahead is still unfolding.